Hello guys, I hope you all are doing well and I welcome you all in this webinar series. So this webinar is based on project planning and risk management. So let's start the session. We all are at time and I hope you will have a great session today. So guys, let me introduce myself. I'm Sandesh Saxena. I'm Chartered Civil Engineer and Masters in Construction Management. I'm having experience in UK, US and India, and currently I have involved in some sort of education or project management background I am having. So I'm involved in the webinars, the online trainings, and so that even in here in India, my students, my participants, my colleagues can learn the things and I can share my knowledge. So guys, let's start today's session. Before starting it, I just brief about this program. Project Planning and Risk Management webinar is being divided into two segments. The first one is the today's one that is started on 7th of Feb at 11:30 a.m. So there we will be having the discussion, or you can say the webinar on project planning. So there we will be learning about how construction project actually works and how we do the things. So the construction planning is the part today which we are discussing, and tomorrow on Monday at 8 p.m. we are having our second segment, and that is the risk management. So I hope you enjoy both the sessions, this 2-day program, and you actually learn a lot. Okay, so what the thing comes into your mind when you think about construction? And there is a term construction and there is a term another, that is the project, construction project. So you know that construction is basically the third stage in the term construction project management. So the project actually starts when some need is created, and construction actually starts when our planning is done and we reach to the site and we start doing our all sort of activity which involves human resource, machine and your raw materials. So guys, first thing we need to understand before going ahead is what is project. So the project is basically a journey from a concept, a purpose, a demand to a serviceable structure. So in our domain, in civil engineering, architect, construction domain I'm talking about, what we are having various sort of things. Okay, so what does it mean? Actually the diversity of the work, diversity of the disciplines, diversity of the nature of the work, and every project is unique in construction. So it is always better to plan well before execution, because once a wise man has said, if you are failing to plan, basically you are planning for a failure. So here we need to think logically, we need to implement all our resources in such a way that we can actually contribute to a quality structure. So that should be our agenda, or that should be our you can say that purpose. So now what does project means? So project is basically in some society or some organization or by some group of people, if some sort of demand arises, that demand could be of anything. For example, the road networks, the building, okay, the community hall. So when there is a purpose and demand for a serviceable living structure, then somebody comes to the picture and he takes the responsibility of getting that serviceable structure done. Okay, and that person is known as the client. Client could be a person, could be an organization, could be a group, could be government, could be private, or any segment. Whomsoever the individual, the person, or say some group, some organization who actually take up a project and invest his time, cost, money and contribute to some quality or some serviceable structure. So that is basically the whole project. So now what we are thinking, or what I am trying to say, that project actually starts when we have a need and somebody decides to fulfill that need. Maybe for fulfilling that need he can contribute some sort of his financial gains or some sort of esteem, image, or he is addressing some sort of social, political advantage by it. But again, it is solving a social problem like road network. Say we are having the expressway. So expressway is basically done by NHAI or the government organizations, the central government basically NHAI. So they are the client. So what is their purpose? Their purpose is to serve Indian society, and they can contribute to some sort of the expressway or a highway. Their transportation can take place among various cities, and as well as their they can have means like we can have some sort of financial growth in terms of the business and all that, and the time period for the travel, it got reduced because of that project. So now civil engineering project, now construction project, now architectural project, or the projects which we are involved with actually creates. So that thing, and what does project needs? Project need resources. And what sort of resources that it could be? The resources could be your raw material, it could be your human resource, or it could be your machine resource. So there are three sort of classifications which we do in terms of resources. So how the things goes on? Any sort of team member, any person from say technical background, non-technical background, is a laborer, he is a manager, he is a client, he is a watchman, or he is some sort of bricklayer, he is mason, he could be any sort of painter, he could be the electrician, he could be the plumber. Every person, those are involved in some sort of project for the part of construction. So that is basically our human resource. All sort of planning engineers, all sort of site engineers, all sort of clients, all sort of things is been the part of the human resource. What could be the raw materials? Any sort of raw material, like the cement, aggregate, fine aggregate, coarse aggregates, okay, your paints, your water, okay, every sort of raw material, steel, reinforcement, some sort of chicken mash, some sort of fall ceilings, every sort of thing. Okay, whatever we are using as a raw material or as a part of that project, which actually gets integrated and contribute to some sort of new structure, that is basically your raw material. So what we are doing, by the basis of our knowledge, our technology, our systems or the processes, okay, that we learned during our technical curriculums or architectural curriculums. So that processes, that technology we implement, and in that scenario the raw materials get converted into some shape. That shape could be a wall, that beam, that slabs and all that. Okay, so that could be the thing. So basically project consumes resources, okay, and time. Every sort of civil engineering project, every sort of construction project consumes time. It should be having some sort of start date, it should be having some sort of finish date, and usually we have the projects which is having around 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So that sort of time period we are having in the industry. So project is a journey from a purpose to a product. It consumes time, cost, and contributes in quality. Whatever serviceable structure we are having, that structure is having some sort of quality. And what does quality means here? Quality is not like you just bought some sort of say the golden or some sort of very high priced stuff, something like that. No. Quality in technical terms basically is confirmation of standards. So if you set some standard and you worked on it and you achieved all your goals. So basically you are having your standards. Okay, so you have qualities in your product. Okay, so what does quality meant by some sort of, I can give you some examples, like there could be some mixed design. So we say that AM20 grade of concrete is having certain ratio of fine aggregate, coarse aggregate and cement. So that particular ratio that comes by some sort of design is basically standard, and if we are doing that in the fixed manner, then actually we are contributing to the quality. Okay, so project could be ranged from your simple to the complex. It could have the one person in charge or maybe numerous. You might have seen that in various projects we have site engineer. He is capable of performing all the activities. In some projects we are having the site engineers and senior site engineers. Then we have your project planners, project managers, some sort of client side person, some sort of contractor side person, supervisors. So that sort of stuff we are having on our site. So what does it mean? It means variety. Okay, it means diversity. It means deviations. There might be some deviation in terms of their psychological thing, in terms of the processes, in terms of the technology, in terms of the language. So that we need to plan, because our projects, construction projects, is consuming so much of resources and it is contributing to the economics. Okay, even you are making your own home, still you are contributing. It could be the part of the the valuation of your area. Okay, so indirectly you are contributing to the economics as of when you are working on some sort of construction project. So that's the bigger picture. So now, why I am telling all these things? Because it shows the importance of the project. So for that project we need to do planning, a very good planning. So what does planning mean? What it is? Planning is basically the sequential arrangement of the activities. It could be the sequential arrangement of, or sequential adoption of technologies. It could be the, you can say that, blueprint of your project, so that one can follow it and work on it. It integrates all the smaller units of your project. That could be your electrical, plumbing, your masonry, your painting, your architectural, structural, estimation, valuation. Every sort of domain, every sort of thing actually we are having on our site. The surveyor, every sort of persons. So basically we need to learn the few things before planning, so that we can have a context of what we are discussing and how we could plan the things. So guys, for planning of construction, for planning of construction project, we must understand what is the project life cycle. What is the project life cycle? So here we can say that project life cycle is having some segments. There is some parts. First is your initiation, planning, implementation, performance and closing. So these are the 5 segments which is having totally variations in the nature of the job, and all of these contribute to the good quality product. And here the good quality product means our serviceable structure. So that is the thing. So what does initiation? Initiation is basically when your client says that I have to fulfill this demand, I have to work on this project and provide a serviceable structure. That serviceable structure could be anything, like we have spoken about the expressway. It could be some sort of hotel project, it could be some stadium, it could be some library, it could be movie theater hall, or it could be some sort of commercial space, it could be some sort of personal housing, individual housing, any sort of thing. So any sort of project could be having the similar pattern. In first thing, the initiation, or sometimes people call it as a pre-planning. So in that segment, your client actually decides the project and make a blueprint of the project, and it actually provides the some constraint to the project. That is like, for example, if somebody is planning to have some hotel, okay, maybe he is living in some space which is very famous, and they are having the tourist all around, but they don't have the good sort of, or say there is a chances of getting financial benefits if they are providing the serviceable structure known as hotel. So in hotel project, what he or she need to do, our client, firstly they need to think that what could be the category of my hotel, how the things will be going on. It could be no star, 1 star, 3 star, 5 star, or what. So here there should be a picture in his mind, like I have that much of budget, I have that much of requirement, I have that much of my target audience, and according to that he should plan. So in initiation we actually give shape and size of the project. Like, okay, so the client has decided, so I have that much of funds limited, so in that segment I need to have some sort of structure that could be raised up to 4 levels. So it could be G+3, and it could be a circular, or the square, or say cubodical building with having that much of aesthetics. So that sort of thing. So that could be the land area, and I will use it like that. Per floor I am having around 10 rooms, and the things are like that. So that sort of thing actually he thinks. So here the technical aspect has not been done. It's just he is having the rough idea that how much it cost, what could be my contribution in it, and after getting all this information, actually he discuss that project with some experts, or I can say in other words, the client consults the project to the experts, and then those experts are basically your consultants. The consultants, which we usually use this term: civil engineering, construction, project management, civil engineering consultant, project management consultants, financial consultants, so technical consultants. So basically those are the experts in the industry, those are having the previous experience, and they are capable of putting some sort of their views on it, and that could be helpful for the client. So after getting the guidance from the consultants, the client actually decides like what could be the thing and how the things can go on, and who will be the leader of the project and how the things will go on. So that is the process of initiation. In initiation stage, we do some sort of feasibility aspects. We study some sort of feasibility aspects of the project, the financial feasibility of the project, technical feasibility of the project, social feasibility of the project. That is the part of pre-planning or initiation. So technical feasibility is like whatever he is planning, the shape, size, structure he is providing is technically possible or not. Okay, then financially, whatever he is planning is financially viable. He has some that sort of funds in his pocket so that he or she can invest. So that is also being done. Social, that what is the impact of that particular structure on the society, the nearby. Okay, for example, you can't open a beer bar, or you can't open a liquor based say any sort of structure where the liquor or some sort of alcoholic things are there, usually called bar, nearby some sort of temple, some religious place, or some educational hub. Okay, so there you can't do it. That's common sense. Okay, because you will have some sort of legal actions against you, because that society is serving something different thing, and you are the part of some different aspect of the society. So social feasibility is also the part of it. Here we do some sort of analysis, that is stakeholder analysis. Okay, that is part of pre-planning, that how stakeholders, who are the major stakeholders, how they will behave, how the things will go on. So there we do the whole you can say the assessment of the stakeholders. So that is the whole process. How we do it, it's like the process starts with finding out the stakeholders, those are direct, those are indirect, then what are their capabilities, they are having influential or they are having resistive, what impact they will make on your project, how much what it could be the magnitude of the impact they can generate. So that sort of thing actually we are having in stakeholders management. So on the basis of all these assessments, all the things, we prepare a document. That document is known as your PID, that is your project initiation document. So that would be the part of pre-planning and planning. So here the client is planning with the help of some sort of consultant. After getting the things in correct manner, he or the client actually appoints a leader of the project. Sometimes it's architect, sometimes it's the project manager, okay, sometimes it's contractor. It depends upon the type of procurement strategy you are opting. Okay, usually we are having the architect as the leader of the project, and sometimes when the things are at great extent, then we are appointed, then the project manager is appointed as the leader of the project. So in his or in her leadership, all sort of planning has been done. So now we are having the planning. So what does planning means? Planning is the process in which whatever we are doing on the field, we are actually planning in some segment, in some point of time. And if the planning is well, then definitely you will achieve good quality standards for your project, and if it is not, then definitely you need to struggle. So that would be the thing. So planning, here we do designs, structural design, architectural designs, here we do the estimation, here we do the detailed survey, here we do the scheduling, here we do all sort of supply chain management and all. So that we will study in brief in coming slides. So the next process is basically your implementation, whatever you are doing. The construction, which we know is actually the third part of the project life cycle. So whatever activities we are doing on the site is basically the third part of your project life cycle. So project has started somewhere before, okay, it's very before, at the time of initiation, but the construction is being started after a logical technical process, that is basically planning. So on the basis of the plan, your contractor will convert the site, convert the design drawings into the reality. So that is basically the implementation. Implementation is basically that process which we usually know as your construction process. So that could be the thing. We have one more segment in it. That segment is known as your performance and monitoring. What does it mean? Performance and monitoring is basically confirmation of planning that is being done parallel to the construction or parallel to the implementation stage. So whatever we are doing is being carried out in a correct manner or not, that is the performance and monitoring. And after making sure of the things like everything is being done in correct manner, we are having one more thing, and that is basically your closing. So closing is like whatever you have studied, whatever you have constructed is confirming the standards which you have defined during the planning or initiation. So that is basically your closing. So here the commissioning will take place and you will hand over the project to your client. So basically guys, this is the part of the whole cycle. So here the project started from the concept and finish it up with the serviceable structure. So that is the conceptual framework of your construction process. So guys, now we are discussing the things in detail and then we will move to the planning segment. So it's like the first part is basically your project initiation. So initiation is basically, I've told you, it's getting the things in correct manner, providing a blueprint, okay, fixing the budget, arranging the funds, that is the part of here, and appointment of the team getting the consultation, getting the things done, like the project should be there or not, how the project should be there. Okay, the project is basically required or not, and if it is required, then will it make the proper things, like the proper revenue it can generate, and will it perform better in that moment. So that sort of thing we do. And here we got the PID, the project initiation documents, which actually provides the whole information, like purpose, like budget. Those are the stakeholders, major stakeholders of the project. So that sort of things actually has been provided by your project initiation document. So there we have, you can say, the blueprint of the project. Now the key process is basically your planning. What sort of planning we do? Every sort of planning we do. What does it mean? I mean to say, whatever you are doing, how many people will be available on your site? So that you need to decide. So if you are having, say, your site size is like, say, 40 square meter or something like that. 100 square meter of the site you are having, or 1000 square meter site you are having. So how many people are able to stand there and perform the duties, whatever their roles and responsibilities? It is not like that all the things you have bought as a raw material and you put it there on the construction, and whatever thing the labor is available, you can do that work. No, it's a very well arrangement of the sequence, processes, activities. Okay, so the whole project is break down into different aspects, and then it is planned individually. Okay, there could be like some segments, like the first is basically working on the raw material, okay, the quality, the constraints, the standards. The second could be working on the structural design. Third could be working on the architectural design. Fourth could be the integration of all of that and comes to the scheduling. One aspect could be of finalizing who will be the person who will get involved in this project and who is basically provide the who will be provide the labor resource and convert that drawing into reality. So it's like here that design, that drawing is changed into reality. So we need to think of the basic things like cost, quality, time. We need to get how much human resource is required. We need to get how much cost is involved. We need to get what amount of raw materials is required, what category of raw material is required, what sort of material is required, which standards it should conform. If I say I have cement, so what does it mean? What grade of cement I am having? I am having the ordinary Portland cement, pozzolanic Portland cement, or what? What is the characterization of, if I am saying ordinary Portland cement? Is this 43 grade, 53 grade, or what? So we have the standards. So our structural engineer, our RCC designer, he will provide us the mixed design of the concrete. So he will provide some sort of a specification here that you should use OPC cement, okay, from so and so on. He can recommend even brands. It is in OPC, the strength can vary depending upon the brands. So not OPC, in PPC, yeah, in PPC that can vary. So that even the brands can be recommended by the designers. Then what could be the tracking system? How you will track the project? In planning, the tracking is also very important. What strategies, what key performance indicators, your KPIs you are establishing during the planning, so that when the construction, the 1 year, 2 year process takes place, so you will say that this project is on the track. So how you will compare, how you will scale, that is also the part of it. The segments, the various segments are the part of it. So that is the planning. So here I can say that planning is a key to the successful project. If you are planning well, nobody can stop you. You will complete your project in budget, you will complete your project in your available resources, and you will achieve very good quality. So that is the first thing. So planning is the key of any sort of project, and in construction it is required because we have the diversity. Okay, various types of people are working all together. It's like, the laborers, they can have their own languages. For example, if I am working in Rajasthan, so the labor could be from MP, UP, Bihar, the engineers could be from South India, the architect could be from the North India. Everybody in India, we are having diversity. So why I am pointing out the states? Because of the language. So even the language are diverse on the construction side sometimes. So in that segment, it's like everything you need to do by your own. Okay, you need to manage all these things. So if flow of information does not gets well, then definitely it will contribute to some sort of delay or some sort of faults at your project. So that is not good for your project. So here the teamwork is very important, and at this point your team identifies the scope of the work and it develops the roadmap. So roadmap is like what could be the activities you are performing, what strategy you are using, what sort of things will be the part of your project, and how the things will go on. So the whole process, the sequential arrangement, the strategy, the psychology, and all sort of technologies, that will be integrated together, because one has to work on the site, one has to monitor the project, one has to get the funds, okay, one has to arrange the raw materials. So that is the whole process. So in planning you need to take care of all these things. Okay, so here identification of resources, your is like the performance of the human resource, performance of your project, everything need to be planned well. So if you are planning well, then definitely you are contributing to a good quality projects. So that is the part of the planning. So I'll just give you a brief on the other segments of the life cycle. Then we will come to the planning again, and we will discuss the planning in detail. Okay, that how and what planning we need to do. Okay, so the planning should be your SMART. SMART is basically specific, measurable, attainable. Okay, some sort of relevancy is there, and time based. Because whatever your plan, it should have certain goals. It should be very specific, like for what segment you are addressing. Okay, what could be the characteristics for that segments? So that could be the thing. It should be measurable. Like we can say that that particular activity has been done. So if somebody is asked that how's the work going on, we can't say good. We will say that, sir, the work is going on with a good phase. We are ahead of the project. We are back of the project. We are having that sort of recovery schedule in the place, and we're gonna have having the variance will be covered now and all sort of thing. So that would be the more appropriate answer than just saying the project is going good. So that is the thing. So that answer you only can do when you have some sort of specificness of the goal, every goal which you are planning, and things are measurable. Like you can measure it and then you can work on it. The things would be attainable. The goal is not like that I will construct the whole project in a single night. No, it's not possible. It might be possible, but as per the available resources or technology, it is not. So in that situation, it should be like, so okay, my say curing period is like 28 days, so I can cut down it to 15 days by using some sort of admixtures and all that. So that technology I am using, so I can save that much of time. So that things could be possible, but say some sort of whenever you are planning, your goals should be very realistic. It should be attainable. Okay, and everything should be time bound, because time is the only unit which is universal. Okay, so here you can measure the thing in terms of time, and then only you will be able to get the things in the correct way. Okay, and you can achieve quality. So that is your planning. So implementation Implementation is basically whatever you have planned, so you need to implement it. So the construction planning, what we are talking about, that is the topic of our webinar, is basically the third segment of your project, number one. So project has started way back. There we do the initiation, then we did our planning, and now we are implementing it. So whatever we are implementing, it's already been planned, and we have the standards, we have the specifications to work on it. So that is the process. So in this, but this is the most crucial process of the whole life cycle, because here we are doing the things on the site. So here we are at the ground. So here we are having the all things, all risk, all sort of performances, all sort of diversity, everything is there. But if it is planned well, then there is no need to worry about the things, because if you are having a good schedule, good plan, then you can work on it and you can confirm the qualities, the standards. So that is the part of implementation and execution. So basically a project has a plan to be put into practice, and that practice is basically the part of your construction, that is implementation or execution. Here you need to think about the draft which has been provided by the designers, the draft which has been provided by the architects. So their guidance, their vision, so how the things will go on, their goals. So that actually we need to fulfill here in the field with the help of the contractor. In that segment, contractor plays the important role, because he is the one whose team is transforming the raw material into substructure. And as a structural engineer, as a civil engineer, as a site engineer, as an architect, as a planner, we are helping him by equipping him with technologies and the things and helping him. So that is the third segment, that is your implementation and execution. Here we have one more segment known as performance and monitoring. Whatever we have planned in terms of your measurable things, we have the performances. So here we have the Kpis, the key performance indicators, and here we need to discuss the thing. So whatever we have planned, so we will plot it if the things are measurable. So whatever we are having, whatever we have planned, actually we are putting into the account, which like we are constructing it, and if that is on track with respect to time, quality and cost, so we are going good. And if it is having the variance, like here you can see the differences, what we have planned and how much time it has taken. So here sometimes we are behind, sometimes we are ahead because of the factors, various factors, the human factors, environmental factors and all that. So that we can basically work on the projects. When we are behind, then we can run some sort of recovery programs and we can again come back to the track. So that would be the thing. So here we need to measure performances of the human resource, performances of the project and the all things. So basically it's monitoring and performances. Here you measure it, you provide some sort of solutions, and you actually defines like how the quality is being achieved. So that is the part of the performance and monitoring. Quality you find in terms of your raw material, in terms of the implementation and all that. After that we are having the project closure. So project closure is the last stage of any project in which we actually confirms that whatever we have planned we have achieved, whatever goal we have set we actually work towards it and we are satisfied with it. So in the project closure segment, the commissioning of the project take places, and after getting the approval when the things are really good, when the client says it's ready to be executed, or it's ready to be implemented, or it's ready to be occupancy. It's like the product is ready for the market, and that segment we actually gets the control. The client actually gets the control of the project, and that serviceable project is ready. So basically that is the project, the basic, you can say, the end of the construction, or that project service life actually starts from that point. So here our team hands over the project to the client, and we make some sort of maintenance strategies also and work on it. So there we at that stage we release all our resources, we terminate all the contracts which we are having, that we have planned. So that sort of thing is done. So now that construction management or project management is what? Is having some sort of goals, some sort of teamwork, could be having the cost, some sort of communication, some sort of problems, on-site problem solving. Everything can be achieved when you have the planning well. And parallel to it, during planning you have managed all the risk. So if you have assigned, or if you have classified the risk first, then you worked on it and you made some sort of preventive policy so that your risk can be minimized or removed, then your planning is successful. And that actually takes place on the time of implementation, because whatever you plan, maybe the risk does not behave like that, like you have expected. So there we do. So in risk management we will discuss in detail, and we will also provide some sort of templates. There you can do your risk assessment of your construction project. So that is on tomorrow, Monday, 8 p.m. Okay. So today we are working on planning. So now we discuss the planning in detail, and let's get to the thing that how it does help and how we can plan the things so that we can achieve good quality of the project. And quality stands for confirmation of the qualities. Okay, confirmation of the standards, not qualities. So that's your quality. So guys, what is planning and monitoring? There are two different terms where people get confused. So planning is basically setting up some sort of standards, and monitoring is basically checking that things or tracking the project so that whatever we have planned we have achieved or not. So that could be the thing. So as I have said that the project has started with an idea, a vision of the some client. So say here is like idea for some sort of structure and how planning actually flows. So the pattern of the planning is really important, and in a nutshell I can define it's like it starts from architectural drawings, architectural detailing, architectural draft, architectural aspect, then whatever the shape, size, whatever architectural properties is being provided by the architect, that goes to the structural engineer, and structural engineer actually puts they put the life in this project by stamping it by it from reinforcement, concrete, and everything in it. So that envelope that has been created by architect is been filled with some sort of stability, durability, and performance. That is the part of the structural engineer. So structural drawings, stability, durability is the product of the structural engineers. So here we do all sort of assessments, like how what sort of slabs we will use, it's one way, it's two way, what method we will use, it's precast or in situ construction, and what could be the design. So what is the detailing of the slab, what is the detailing of the columns, what is the mixed design, and what characteristics of the structure should have. It's a bundled structure, it's a bundled tube structure, or what sort of structure it is having. It's a multi-story building, so it's high rise, mid rise, or low rise. So what could be the properties? How the agenda behind the structural engineer is the two things: stability and durability. So the structure should be stable and it should be durable so that it can serve ages and ages. So stability you will get after calculating all sort of neutralizing all sort of forces that will be acting on your structure. It could be the seismic force, it could be the wind load, it could be the dead load, it could be the live load, every sort of load that has been calculated, and you got your structural design. On the basis of that, you will come to know that how much steel quantity is required, what grade of concrete is required, and how the things will go on. So that is one of the aspects of the structural design. So in structural design, at the end of the day, you will be able to find the characteristics of the material, the characteristics of the processes, the characteristics of your building components, and there you can work, and on the behalf of that you need to do the work, and that work is basically construction. So you need to integrate all your raw material in such a way that you should follow the structural aspects, the structural drawings, and contribute to some sort of living structure. Okay, the high-rise building, the roadway, or whatever your project is. There is one more segment in it, that is the process design. So the process design, sometimes people call it as a conceptual framework, or in the process design, or something like that. Means the agenda behind this is how your project will flow, how much time it will take, what technologies you are adopted for it. So that is basically your process design. So what process will be followed by the next. Okay, for example, if you are working on some sort of water resource project, so where would be your reservoir, where would be your dam, where would be the discharge of your water goes, what could be the runoff velocity, and all that stuff you actually calculate, and then you put some sort of structures behind something or ahead of something, and then it contributes to and it integrates to some sort of your serviceable product. So like STP, sewage treatment plant, so you have your effluent in it, then you have different segments there, the effluent goes, and there some sort of segregation take places where there are various biological processes, or the things takes place, and end of the day your purpose is got resolved. So that process, so what process you are adopting, which is like in which segment the first your sewerage will go, and then what could be the next. So that is basically your process design. Same way, that process could be having what sort of thing you are using. For example, in Jaipur Metro we have a Chandpol metro station. So Chandpol metro station in Jaipur Metro is basically constructed from top to down. Means like in substructure it was from top to down. It was not like that they just dig the land first and then they created the foundation and then they go up. It was like they started with a plinth and they started they started going top to bottom. So that technology was adopted there. So that is the process design. So what sort of process you are making. One more thing that is very important is getting the funds. Like now this person is saying, our client was saying, like he has to come up with some sort of hotels, some sort of star rated hotels. There they can generate some sort of funds in it. There they can generate some sort of say financial help in it. So that sort of thing is basically calculated in such a way that the person could get the amount of money, like he should arrange some sort of financial things. So that actually we got from the estimation. So there is the science, or you can say some sort of mathematics in it. So after getting the structural drawings, our quantity surveyors do some sort of detailed estimation. There they identified that what is the real amount of steel, the real amount of raw materials is required, then it multiplied, then that particular amount has been multiplied by the unit cost, and then they got the amount of money required for the whole project. So the raw material is need to be estimated by the drawings, and according to the nature of the project, the human resource is also been the part of it, like how much human resource you will be required, how many mysteries, how many skilled laborers, how many unskilled laborers are required for the performing that particular task. So that is also the part of it. So in detailed estimation, you get the quantities, you multiply it by the cost, and then you come up with some amount. That amount is basically part of your financial planning. Then you need to make some sort of cash flow, and that cash flow actually enriches your project, and that is the part of your detailed estimation. So detailed estimation, you will get all the quantities and then the cost. So that is being done. So after getting your structural drawings, your architectural drawings, your process, your estimation, your all other things, what we have a process known as scheduling. Scheduling is what? Scheduling is basically sequential arrangement of all the activities in such a way that you can achieve the things in optimized manner. Optimized means you can use your resources in such a way that the resources should be minimum and output should be maximum. Okay, and so that is basically the optimization of the work. So in scheduling, what we do, we implement some sort of concept, the PERT, the CPM, and then we find out what are the critical activities, what are the non-critical activities, what are the activities which can impact overall time of the project, what are the activities which is having float, and there we can put means like there we can put that activity could be on delay or how the resource is going on. So that we do in the scheduling. So widely we are adopting, there are two softwares which has been widely adopted in industry. The first one is Microsoft Project. Okay, that is the project management software. So that is very easy to learn and implement. So that is the first one, and the second is your project portfolio management software known as Primavera P6. So Primavera P6 is a globally accepted software, and there we is like that has been adopted in Indian industry also, and people are using it and getting very good results out of it. So after scheduling, it's like you have some sort of things that is basically known as the DPR, detailed project report. So after performing all these activities, you will get a book. You can say that that book could be the Bible of your project. It is defining all the aspects of your project, the financial, technical, aesthetic, every sort of thing, conceptual, process, and that sort of that sort of thing is basically carried out in and drafted in such a way that everybody, the person whomsoever read that, can get the information about the project, and everybody should work towards the same goal. So that is basically, that actually integrates all the diversity towards the same product. So this is your DPR, detailed project report. That is the part of basically the planning. So whatever standards you have chosen during the planning is being monitored during the execution, and if the things are okay, then you are on the track. If the things are having some sort of variance, maybe it's negative or positive, means you are behind of the schedule or ahead of the schedule. So that actually contributes some sort of unexpected aspects or unexpected conditions of the project, and normally delays in the project, and that delays could cause overheads, and actually it is very negative for our project. So monitoring is very essential. So this is the difference among the two, the planning and monitoring. Whatever we have planned, so we are monitoring is the things are going well, is the things are going in the direction which we have imagined. So that is the thing. We have one more thing, or like we should discuss few things like how a project planning process takes place, and what are the things which you really need to think before executing a project, or before getting the reaching to your site. So guys, there are various things. The first and the very important part is the risk assessment and management. When you are working on your site, there are several types of risk. The first risk could be of your health, your safety. That risk is like when you are working along with the raw materials, along with the several type of people, we are having a temporary structure, where things are it's like people are standing on it and then they are executing the things. We are having very heavy machines, so there how the things will go on. So what could be the risk? So in risk assessment, basically we identify the risk, we work on it, and then we try to eliminate the risk, or get some sort of say preventive measures on it. So basically that is the risk assessment, and management is basically how you do how you tackle the risk. Okay, so that could be the thing. We have supply chain management, that is the part of project planning. And what does it mean? Supply chain management is like, for example, your activities scheduled on third week is say casting of slab. So the casting of slab actually consumes a good amount of raw materials, because you need like cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, admixtures, additives, water. Then you have the mixture. Then you need machines like the mixing machine, concrete mixing machine, or the ready-made concrete mixture, whatever you are opting. So that sort of thing you also need. Okay, so how and when the things will be transported to your site and the raw material will be available. So that is also the part of planning. So that is comes under supply chain management. So how much amount of material is being transported at what point of time to your site, and who will be the person who is responsible for transporting it. So that is our supply chain partner. And so supply chain partner is like, you should establish some sort of relationship among some sort of vendors. Those can provide you the raw materials, the locally available raw materials, or they can gather the raw materials for throughout your project, and they can provide you. So that sort of arrangements you do, that sort of contracts you sign, and so that the raw materials is always available on your site. So that is your supply chain management. So then we have health, safety and environment. So health safety is basically, it's one of the very volatile and one of the very you can say coined topic nowadays, because we are doing good sort of construction, and when like the companies from abroad, they are working with us in PPP model or some sort of other models. So there they are implementing the HSE's policies. It was there as per the Indian standards also, but it was not very well motivated. Now the things are changing after COVID situation. The health and safety thing is very much coined, and people are working on it, working towards it. So that is the thing. So health is basically the somebody's individual thing. Like for example, while working on the height, if somebody is feeling some sort of uncomfortness, so that is counted as the health. If the person is working on the same height and it falls down because of the failure of some sort of structure, some sort of temporary structure, or some sort of accident took place, or he lost his hand or something like that, so that counted in the safety, because we could do some sort of thing. We would have tried the two things to get the things better, so the safety can be enriched. So that is basically the difference among the two, the health and safety. Although the words has been coined together, but it's a bit different. If the person, like as per the global standards or the labor law, a person is able to do his job in like in 24 hours, the person can do the job for 8 hours. Okay, that is the normal job time period or job period which we have, that is globally accepted. And there is the time for the rest also, like you have the lunch or something like that. So that is the guidelines, that is the practical things. But if your worker is working 10 to 12 hours, so definitely he or she is having some sort of problems to his health, because its life cycle, routine cycle is disturbing. So for few days it could be okay, but if it is the practice, usual practice, then definitely that is providing the ill effect to the body. So all sort of, and end of the day, they are our resources. Okay, so we need to take care of them. So that is the part of health. Safety, like how things will go on safely on the site, and that could contribute to a good environment. The last segment of this health, safety and environment is environment. Whatever activities we are doing, is it going good, or it is contributing something negative to environment? Whatever you are working is eco-friendly or not? So that is part of it. So what things we can adopt so that we can work towards the environment also, and we should not say damage the environment. So that is part of it. So we have some sort of laws, we have some sort of guidelines issued by Government of India and other countries. So there we can follow it, and we can provide overall good quality of the project. Because if your human resource is safe, he is mentally or healthy, he is healthy, and he is working in a good atmosphere, good environment, then definitely the enthusiasm will be high, and it will contribute to your project with great efficiency. And the efficiency, if the efficiency is good, definitely we want to achieve the quality. So that is also in our favor as a engineer or as a client. Planning and management is another aspect. So whatever we have planning is it has been provided in different segment. So here the planning and management is like whatever you have planned in terms of structure, in terms of architecture, in terms of electrical, in terms of mechanical, in terms of your anything, is that being managed well or not? Because as a consultant you will get a good roadmap of your by the consultant you will get the good roadmap for your project, but is that being implemented well or not? So that could be the things. So here you need to manage the things also which has been planned. So in that scenario you will be achieving the quality. There next is your flow of information. Flow of information is really important thing on the site, because I've coined the term like diversity in the site. You have the language barriers on the sites, you have the different level of educations of on your site. So that is like the site is so diverse, but you all are working towards achieving the same goal, because every part, maybe somebody is the worker, somebody could be engineer, somebody could be plumber, or somebody could be the watchman on the site. So everybody is means like contributing to the project only, and whatever their job role is, they are working on it. So here it's like information should be very well flowed in the project during the execution, during the construction. And for that it should be like, and what sort of information? The first is the technical information about the job, like how things should be go on, what could be the what could be the things which you need to keep into account. For example, if concreting is taking place, so then everybody should know that concreting should take place today, so that the all sort of human resource would be available on the site, and some sort of other work is not being going on parallelly, so sort of thing. Everybody should be aware of where is the assembling point in sort of emergency at your site. So what could be your like what is the strategy for fire safety or other safeties on your project when some sort of emergency take place? So that sort of information will be there. Every time, like, language is the barrier, because we are living in a country which is having the diverse nature. So here we always suggest to have the proper signage, because danger means danger in Hindi, English, Tamil, Gujarati or any language. If you say right, so right direction is right, even it is in French, German or anything else. So here you can use signage. So if you are providing the posters, banners and markings on your site, so definitely you are contributing contributing good in terms of management. Okay, because if the things are if the information is flowing in a good manner, then everybody should be aware that how the things are going on and what is scheduled for today. So in that segment, they everything proactively everybody got involved in the project, and they can contribute whatever their role demands. So that is part of it. We have PMIS. PMIS is basically Project Management Information System. So that is whatever we have discussed until now. It was the part of the site conditions, but how your whole project team is been associated with each other in terms of the schedule, in terms of the drawings, designs and all that. So for that we are having some sort of project management systems. I've told you the Primavera and Microsoft Primavera and Microsoft project is part of it. So there you need to do input some sort of details, and then it will help you to get the various things in it, like how your say what could be the total duration of the project, this project is going ahead or back, and all of that. So that is really important in nowadays. Okay, that the softwares, people should learn it, how to work on it, and how the things actually happens on the site. So the sequential arrangement, you can have integration of the resources, integration of the human resource, integration of the machine resource, implementation of things that we do in scheduling. So scheduling, the PMIS provides you the scheduling options and various sort of budgeting and other options also. So a good contractor, a good client or good company always adopt some sort of PMIS, and now people are getting learned in that segment. So the persons can learn, engineers can learn this software, and it is very helpful for executing or for managing the project in whole. So that is the thing. Effective scheduling is also the part of it. Schedule should be made by the person, those are having good experiences, those are having good technical skills, those are aware of all of the activities, the person who is able to find out that how much duration will be needed for particular activity, how much human resource will be there, and what sort of advantage you will get if you replace some human effort by machine effort. So that sort of thing is there. So what is scheduling? Scheduling is basically the sequential arrangement of the activities to achieve a goal in terms of the cost, in terms of the time, and that is contributing to the quality. So that is the part of it. We have one more things for project planning is like project sustainability. Project sustainability, it's itself a hot topic. Sustainability. Sometimes sustainability got related with the environment. Sometimes it's been related to the say your society. Sometimes it get related with the funds or economics. So sustainability is basically integration of all these things. So if I put a Venn diagram and gets the three circles, which is having the society, environment, and your financial or economical model. So the diagram which is having the unions of all three. So I'll say that the society union, environment union, your economics. So that is basically the portion where we will put the term sustainability. So sustainability is something which should be means like the things or the part of that should be environmental friendly, it should be economic, and it should have the better influence on the society. So it's like serviceability of the structure, it's part of it, the carbon dioxide emissions of it, or sometimes how much economical it is, or the things are like that. So that is the project sustainabilities. So that we can discuss in details in some of the webinar, what does it means and how actually we can implement in the project. So sustainability is very much required in the project also, how your project will sustain in the the environmental forces and in social forces and sort of thing. So that you need to plan individually in all these three departments, like your social. So for social, we are having stakeholder management. For economics, we have the estimation, we have the scheduling, okay, we have the budgeting, then we have the environment. So there we have the risk assessment, health and safety, environmental planning, fire safety at the site. So that is the part of your third segment. So when we are contributing or we are getting the the points from all these three, then we are contributing something in sustainability. So that is also the part of it. So guys, that is some sort of highlights where we need to discuss the things, and these are the processes where we think then we are able to plan. So in nutshell, if I'll define what is construction planning and how the things go on, so I can say that I have three buckets, like engineering, procurement and construction. So what is engineering bucket? So engineering bucket includes all sort of technical things in it, like your architectural design, your structural design, your estimation, your operational plan, your processes, your technology, your adoption of say some sort of machine, performances of machine. That sort of technical aspect comes into this segment, the engineering segment. So engineering segment, whatever things which we have discussed regarding architectural design, whatever thing or draft we got from the architect, whatever the drawings we are getting from the architect, so that is basically the part of it. Structural engineer, how he can help or contribute to the project, we already have discussed, so that is the part of it. Quantity surveyor, like estimation, how we get the quantities, how we work on the quantities, how we actually get the cost of the project and sort of thing. So that is the part of your engineering segment also, and known as quantity surveying, the separate department, estimation, costing and all that. Operational plans, it's like the conceptual framework of the project, like how the things will go on and who will be responsible for that, and what strategy you are using. You are going in situ, you are going precast, you are going modular housing, you are going some sort of some sort of very much like 3D printing, the new concepts. So that is the time. This is 2021, and we should not restrict ourselves to that sort of the traditional traditional in situ construction. The things are changing. We have options. We need to adopt it. So that here in this segment we work on it. So engineering is the first segment, the major segment of the construction planning. So here you do all sort of planning in it. Second segment is the procurement. Procurement is basically the whole process of the construction. There you are procuring, there you are finalizing, there you are getting the things, like you are procuring your raw materials. So here we have the supply chain planning, supply chain management part of it. So you already have you already have the quantities which you got from this engineering bucket. So after that you are able to order it, and then you are having a sequential plan also, so when you need it. So how many vendors are available nearby your site, and what cost they are offering, and is that okay to just like are they okay to get you the things on time. So that is basically the part of it, supply chain management, supply chain planning. Then we have the contract and policies, like estimation, contract, bidding, the terms which you listen like that. So tender, because the tendering is there, like how much, what is the amount of work, what is the scope of work, who is going to do that. Okay, the bidding, the process, the say contractors do biddings, like they can do that sort of work in that much resources and that much cost. So that is the thing. So what strategy you are using in procurement? You also have type selection of the type of projects, like what procurement you are using. For example, architect is the leader of the project, construction manager is the project leader of the project, how the things are flowing. If your client is there are two types of clients, the One is informed client. Informed client are those are having direct influence on the project. For example, I'm a civil engineer, and I'm constructing my own house. So definitely I will be having the influence on the contractor. For example, my father is the bank servant. So in banking segment, he is not very well aware about your the process of construction and all that. So he is the uninformed client. So when he is making his house, or he is making some sort of project, getting involved in it, if he is the client, then he will find some consultant. So that consultant will take charge of the project, and they can control the project. Or he can hire some sort of say engineer, or some sort of any sort of person, project manager or something like that. So that could be the thing. When we are going for the big projects, we are having the project managers. So the project managers are having the proper information and very diverse nature of their experience. The project manager should be able to do the technical aspects, like he or she should be civil engineer or the architect, so they should understand the concepts of technicality. They should get aware of all the quantity surveying things. They should be aware of financial things, like how the cash will flow. So they should have strong communication skill, strong negotiation skill, strong leadership skills. So that actually contributes or make a person who can take the control of all the things, and he is the person, he is informed, he is experienced, so he can take the decisions. In that way the things will go on. So what sort of procurement you are using? Sometimes we are having say design and build contract, so design and build procurement. So in that situation, when identical things is being constructed parallelly, so the contractor is enough capable of the design, get the design from his team as well as constructing it. So that contractor must have some sort of engineers in his team, and they design it and they make it. For example, the housing project, township projects, it is part of it. So that sort of thing also happens when the identical things are going on. Then design and build contract is being assigned, or procurement is being assigned. There are various contracts in terms of cost, in terms of quality, in terms of time. So that is part of it. Okay, all sort of policies, all sort of contracts, tender, bidding, everything is being part of that segment. So here we call this segment is a procurement. So now the next segment is your construction. So what does construction means? The things which we have discussed. This is the third part of the project. But we usually call that the construction starts when the contractor or the engineers reach the site and they do either marking, they start marking on the site and excavation takes. No, construction process is starting from that point, but the project is already been started when the need has arises, and one person, the client, took the responsibility and he started working towards that particular demand, and when he was assured that he can solve that problem by creating some sort of serviceable structure, and he can generate financial, political, environmental, and a sort of a benefit for him. So that is the point when the project started. Okay, and at the third stage, after planning, after pre-planning, planning, then you got to reach the site, and now you are following whatever instruction has been set during the planning. So that is the third one. So for construction, what you need is, like, specifically you must have the process design, what things you are using, what resources you are using. You must have the site plan, that how the things are behaving on the site. You have your quality assurance and quality control policy, like how you are controlling the quality on your site. So for example, we have some sort of QC QA engineers. The quality engineers basically work on the raw material, because if the raw material is being provided with good quality, so definitely when it binds together and when it was integrated together to form some structure, so that structure should have good qualities also. So that is the part of it. Then your scheduling, whatever things is being scheduled, if it is being scheduled properly, then definitely everything goes well, and the person will enjoy on the execution part. So they do not have need to be panic about the things because everything is being scheduled. So there are three buckets where you need to work, where you need to plan, and if the things get plans well, if the thing goes well, your plan, if you plan well, then you will achieve good quality of the product. So the three things are engineering, procurement, and the construction. So that is the part of construction planning. Apart from it, we have various things like supply chain management. So it's like quantity, what are the quantity requirements, we need that, establish supply chain, for working in supply chain management or planning supply chain, you need to get the status of availability of the material and the quality of the material that is available in your serviceable area or nearby your site. Use local vendor, because it's just not because Modi ji has said that, he said so truly, but it is also because the benefits are like when you are relying on local vendor. So then the situation is like, first thing you must have adopted the raw material that is locally available, and second, the local vendors are able to get you the things in any sort of condition because they are local, they understand the atmosphere, the things, the ups and downs. As an engineer, we reach the site, and when we allotted that project, and so that's new for us because every project is new for us. But the vendors, the local vendors, are providing the raw materials to every sort of projects, okay, every sort of company. So there, it's like if you rely on your local vendors, then it is comparatively good, and that supply chain is comparatively stronger than you have your traditional vendors. Okay, because for example, you are working in southern part of India and southern part of India, and there you are having some sort of great company, those are providing you the all sort of raw material. But maybe when you got the tender in mid of the India, so that company won't be able to provide that efficiently the raw material as it was providing previously. So in that segment, you might have rely on the local. So that local for vocal is always been part of our presentation, but now it's nationalized because our Prime Minister has spoken about it and we are adopting it. Things are going on. So in supply chain management, you should use the local vendors and take advantage of their existence, okay, at that particular area. So they're going to help you, and they always provide you the good decisions. Health and safety is a thing which you need to plan always. Nowadays, when various types of the work has been awarded, only it's like various site conditions or various projects, various companies are having the ISO. So ISO certification, you must take care of your the health, safety and environment on your site and everything. So for getting the bids or for getting good standards of the project work, you need to work on this segment. So health, safety and environment. So I have already discussed health is something individual. So like how your work atmosphere, how your site condition is impacting somebody's health. So that is part of it. So it could be individual. Okay, it might happen that somebody is able to work on 10th floor or 11th floor very normally, but one cannot work at that height properly. Okay, so that could be the individual health problem. Sometimes it has been observed that some of the people get the diseases, skin diseases, when they got in direct contact of the cement, but some of them are not. So it does not mean that they are having some sort of problem or something like that. It is their body, so their body is more sensitive, and the cement is basically the alkaline product. So that is getting the negative impact on it. So that is the thing. So here HSE is always been the thing. You always have that personal protective equipments. People understand like HSE is PPE. Health and safety means like if you are having the health and personal protective equipments. But guys, no. Personal protective equipment is the last thing when you are working on HSE. We are having the regular courses of health and safety and environment aspects. So there we tell you how the things goes on in terms of health and safety planning, monitoring and all that. So personal protective equipment is the last part. When you are unable to work or unable to counter the risk, then you is like rely on this one. Personal protective equipment is the last thing. You always do some sort of collaborative effort to minimize the risk. Okay, and this is the individual effort. So that is the thing. But yeah, of course, you need to provide everybody these equipments so that if your designer forgot or designer missed some sort of risk, but by using that PPE, the person gets sustained and they should not having some sort of problem in it. So HSE should be planned really well. You need to adopt some of the policy technology and then you should implement it. So it is like what are the personal protective equipments? It's like helmet, high visibility jacket, boots, your you can say the safety glasses, all that. So that we know really well. So health and safety policy, it must be implemented on the site, and it will not only get you a good standard of the work, but also it will increase the efficiency of the your team, and they will feel safe. Then definitely they got motivations and they will work with the great energy. So that will contribute positively to your project. So HSE is also part of it. So you also need to plan well on the things. Project management information system. So it is, I've told you, it's really important nowadays. The things are going global, the things are become critical. So here we have the two solutions. Here Primavera P6 that has been provided by the Oracle, and we have another project is from Microsoft. So that is my MS project. So now for employment purpose, when it's like for the freshers, for the graduates, it's like the good it's emerging say tool which it will increase your chances of placements in the company, because every company is now demanding the project management professionals or the guys those are able to work on some sort of project management information system. So here it's like the Primavera P6 or Microsoft project. So one should understand that how important it is, and they can work on it. So you should take proper training and then you can work on it. There is a difference among the two. Is like Microsoft project is it's restricted to few projects. It's a project management software, so you will get all sort of things like tracking, planning, and you can generate schedules like that. But that is limited to certain projects. One or two projects you can work, then the thing goes heavy. But the Primavera P6 is basically the project portfolio management system. So here you can work parallelly. You can work on portfolio. What is portfolio? Like integration of projects. When you are working on parallel projects, the whole enterprise is part of it. Your company, you can report to your managers, and so it is a very good software, and people are working on it in great extent. So that is the thing. Here you can do your budgeting, your scheduling, and all that. So that sort of project management information system is being adopted, and that is the part of the current industry, with the upcoming industry. Now the situation is a bit different. It was not like that we have before. The things was carried like traditional things, traditional procurements, but that is having wastage of resources and few things. But if you plan really well, if you opt by using these sort of technical tools which we are having nowadays, then what you will do, you will contribute towards quality, number one, that will increase the service life of the structure, and secondly, you will optimize the resources and time. So the project will be done in limited amount of time and in limited cost. So that is also the benefit of AMIS, Project Management Information Systems and Planning. So guys, this is planning. So if you want anything else from our side, so that we can also discuss, and we can discuss. I can take some sort of questions if you want some sort of question need to be answered, anything you wanna ask, then you can write in your text box and we can work on it. So because of the language trouble, some people are asking me to speak in Hindi. So if you want something specific that I can speak in Hindi, then definitely no worries. I can speak in Hindi also, but the selective topic, so that I can give you the highlights. Now, okay guys, so thank you for being with us. So now it's like now it's a special announcement. Like for this program, we are having like this webinar is free, and then that is available on YouTube. So you can come again and again and work on it. And if you have the problem later on also, you can just type in the comment section, and that complaint will be that sort of problem will be resolved. Okay. For getting the software and the templates of your risk management, that you need to do is basically by the registration of some token amount, that is 299 rupees only. So you can get the link on the description box, and if you really need the estimation templates, the risk assessment templates and the each certifications, then you can apply for it. It's just a token amount. People are asking, sir, why you put this amount? It's so less. So if you want to put it, then also it's fine. Yes, it funds, but actually it indicates the sincerity. So it's just a token of sincerity, and then after getting the things in the correct manner, you can view this webinar and you can apply for the certificate. And that includes all of your certificates, like the certificates for project planning, certificate for risk management for the upcoming webinar that is being scheduled for tomorrow 8 p.m. and your risk assessment templates that we're going to discuss on the second part of this webinar. So there you will be discussing various things and you are learning the things. So I hope everything is got resolved, means like every questions got resolved, and we have something. If you have something to say, you can speak, or you can write it in your text box. Okay guys, so that's it from our side. You should subscribe our channel so that we can provide you that sort of more informative webinars, and we are having some sort of training programs on Primavera, training programs on stakeholder management, on various things. So you can also check our website, that is www.ecorporateinnovations.co.in. so there you will find your tab that about the trainings, the programs, and we have the separate section for webinars. So there you can work, there you can learn about the webinars also. So I hope you have enjoyed this session, and thank you. I'll just wind up today and we will be meeting soon. So it's tomorrow 8 p.m. and thank you. I wind up today. Thank you guys.